We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. Just got off work. It's 7:23 a.m. Sun's rising. I went in today. Today was my day off, but I wanted to make a little extra money. Sammy, the co-host, and my wife, she wants a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. So I'm trying to work some overtime and take care of my boo, you know? But yeah, so trying to make a little extra money. We're not struggling or anything, knock on wood. We're not broke or nothing, but you know, if I have the energy and if I feel good, I'm gonna work extra. You know, I have no problem doing that. But today we are going to be covering. That's it. That's all I got for updates. I feel good. Everybody's good. Everybody's happy, fat, well fed. Everything's good. Today we are going to be covering Opus Dei. Opus Dei, I guess is how you'd pronounce it. It's D-E-I. So, it was made famous through the Davinci Code. I actually, before even seeing the Davinci Code, I actually got into the whole conspiracy of the bloodline of Jesus and stuff through Holy Blood, Holy Grail. And I know it's been debunked and all that jazz, and the guy who was claiming to be the Davidic bloodline of Jesus Christ, he ended up being labeled by the government of France as an anarchist. They raided his apartment, threw him in prison. But looking back on it now, I kind of was like disgusted with the book, like, oh man, it's all BS. But I was younger when I read it, and now looking back, I'm kind of like, well, the government could set anybody up. So, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on the whole Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Now, the writer of the Davinci Code, I'm going to do a little disclaimer. I know this is the conspiracy tinfoil hat community. And sadly, a lot of these conspiracy theorists and stuff, yeah, they're right wing and, you know, pro-Trump and QAnon and all that jazz, but sadly, they are just as bad as the social justice warriors. And I know I'm pissing people off by saying this, but I try not to do it. But I've noticed within the conspiracy community, a lot of people eat their own, just like the social justice warriors. They'll destroy each other, you know? And it's like, okay, yeah. When you get into conspiracy theories, you know, there's especially flat earthers and round earthers, like, I don't know, they're the worst. Both of them. I'm agnostic when it comes to it. I don't know what the fuck we're on. I really don't at this point. I've seen from both sides crazy shit, so I'm agnostic, you know. But that and QAnon, like a lot of truthers are like black pilled, I guess is what they would call it, to where they're just kind of like there is no hope, everyone's doomed, and it's like why bash QAnon? Why bash QAnon? That's the only one that I don't get is like I guess it's bad for someone to be hopeful that there might be a secret military force fighting child pedophilia. There might be. And it's bad to stand up against child pedophilia. That's the one that confuses me. That people are against Q. That's bizarre. But I don't know. I've noticed like anti-Q people. I usually try to stay away from them, just because it's like, oh, so you're pro child molestation and stuff. Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Um, I'm not. I'm not pro Q. You know. I don't know if it's real or not, but I hope it's real. I hope that there's a military force fighting. You know, these dark arts motherfuckers, in the words of Sam Tripoli. Um, but yeah, the point I was making is like this is a touchy subject because anytime Dan Brown gets brought up in the conspiracy uh, ring, the conspiracy boxing ring, I'm not pro Dan Brown, but I'm not against him either. I don't know who he is behind closed doors. I haven't really studied him much. Um, I think because a lot of people are like, oh, he's disinfo, he's controlled opposition, and all this. To me, I think Dan Brown is a nerd, a white nerd like me. I think he is a conspiracy theorist, and he's already admitted that he was always like a conspiracy theorist. He kind of reminds me of the guy who created Gravity Falls. Um, Everyone kept attacking Gravity Falls because there was Illuminati symbolism, and literally, I watched the cartoon. It's about conspiracy theories and cryptozoology, and they're fighting the Illuminati. Like, it's not hidden propaganda from the Disney Channel. The guy even admitted, he's like, yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I just wanted to make a conspiracy theory cartoon for kids. Like, I don't know. The conspiracy community eats its own, and it sucks. I've seen them do it with Dan Brown. They're like, oh, Dan Brown, that's like, they either say this, that he's like disinfo, controlled opposition, or they say, oh, that's just like, that's conspiracy red pills for idiots. And it's like, well, don't call them idiots, man. I think it's actually kind of cool to have bestsellers that are based off of conspiracy theory subjects, because each book he writes is on a different conspiracy subject, and each movie that is made off of his books. I think it's cool because it's mass red pilling people, but it's like the corner of that pill, of the red pill. He is red pilling people on a mass quantity, slowly. It gets people interested. It gets people going, I don't know. What's like one of his books is about CERN, about CERN creating dark matter, and it's, angels and demons. Like, I actually like the movies and stuff, and I actually like the books and stuff. I've never read them, but I mean, like the books on the subject, like I said earlier, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. Which, by the way, a little fun fact, the main character of Davinci Code is actually Michael Bygent, but it's anagram. Switch around the letters, and it's the main character of Davinci Code and Angels and Demons. I can't remember his name. I'm not going to lie. I like the movies. I haven't had time to read the books, but I don't know. I wish people would go easy on Dan Brown. I think honestly, he's just been a conspiracy theorist since like the '90s and early 2000s, and I don't know. Sadly, the conspiracy community eats its own, and it's shitty. I think it's a very shitty thing. But yeah, Opus Dei. I'm just gonna call it DA, and I could be mispronouncing it the entire time, so you can strangle me through your screen or through your earbuds or whatever makes you feel better. Opus Dei is what we're covering today, and I have been doing a ton of research on this, like as far as like pulling up research and stuff, because I usually use my library because I've bragged about this before. I got a whole upstairs room that is a library, and it's a wicked ass library. So I take from like a bunch of different multiple sources, and this could probably be a two-parter. So I do need some crowd communication. If you guys feel like you need a two-parter, if you guys want a two-parter, we can do a two-parter. But we're just covering Opus Dei, and here we go. Buckle in, buttercup. Okay, here's a little fragment, a little mini article I found on Opus Dei within modern culture. Like the Knights Templar, the group founded by Saint Jose Maria Escriva in 1927 also appeared in Dan Brown's The Davinci Code. Similar to the reaction he garnered with his depiction of the Templars, Brown's presentation of Opus Dei resulted in a firestorm of criticism. Scholars, historians, and the present-day Opus Dei organization have pointed out numerous factual inaccuracies in the book. For example, the murderous villain, Silas, is a monk and a member of Opus Dei. In reality, there are no monks in the group. It is a Catholic institution of lay people and priests, not a monastic order. The book also portrays Opus Dei's members murdering, lying, and drugging people, as well as involved with quote-unquote brainwashing and quote-unquote aggressive recruiting techniques. While such assertions might make for a thrilling read, Opus Dei itself rejects them, claiming the book is unfairly trying to tar Opus Dei with the same brush used against groups more deserving of such epitaphs. John Casey's 1997 novel, The Genesis Code, presents an ultra-secret Roman Catholic Brotherhood, the author's version of Opus Dei, on a mission to kill children who were conceived at a fertility clinic. Well, no offense, I'm going to stand up for Dan Brown on this. Like I said in my earlier statements in the opening of this podcast, yeah, the dude likes conspiracy theories, and if you can make money off of conspiracy theories, dude, I salute you. I salute you, because conspiracy theories is like the hardest market to make money off of. And if you become a national a New York Times bestseller off of it, I gotta take my hat off to you, because my channel, I've been on YouTube for 3 years, and I'm just now up to 183 subs, which, thank you guys. I applaud you, and I thank you so much. So don't think I'm being grumpy and ungrateful, because YouTube actually doesn't pay me. I'm not saying unsubscribe. Stay subscribed. Hey, I appreciate it. But, hey, I mean, if you can make money off of writing books about conspiracy theories, I take my hat off to you. And by the way, I think I like to look at the positive rather than the negative. I try to be an optimist rather than a pessimist. You're red pilling mass amounts of people on deep subjects like CERN, Christianity, Jesus had a wife, Mary Magdalene. I've spoke about this before, the whole her washing his feet with her hair. That was a pagan marriage ceremony. And you won't hear that in your church, so just saying. Oh, and by the way, too, I don't feel bad for the Vatican, man. Here's my straight up opinions if you want me to be 100. And if you're Catholic, I hope you stay subbed, because if you've listened to my older episodes, I actually started a segment of doing a saint per day. I have a book where I do like one saint per day, So I don't discriminate against any religion. On paper, I'm Church of Christ scientist, but not on paper. And if you really want to know what I am, I've already spoke about that before, but with these vaccines coming up, I have to claim on paper Church of Christ scientist so they don't try to stick the mark of the beast in me. But I do not feel bad for the Vatican. That has been the biggest child sex ring. It's like, I remember being a child, and I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 91. I'm 29 years old. My birthday just came up. So, but I remember hearing about child molestation cases back then. Growing up, being a kid. And it's still going on. And it's 2020. And people are still just sending their kids to be altar boys and shit, and then they're surprised when something happens. It's like, it is literally the biggest in plain sight child trafficking sex ring out there, and nobody wants to say anything about it. But I will. If I have to be the devil, then I'll be the devil. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. But now that I get off my soapbox, let's continue. Opus Dei. Opus Dei is translated into God's work. Is the most controversial organization in the Catholic Church today, often called a sinister cult, a secret society, or a vast international right-wing political conspiracy. I always love how they blame the right wing on everything. Hey, it's two wings to one bird. Left and right are evil as hell. The group, nonetheless, safely exists within the church itself. Each Opus Dei chapter answers through the Pope's orders, through the order's leaders in Rome. Close association with the Vatican, however, has obviously not prevented the group from being the object of intense scrutiny and criticism. Opus Dei has been accused of deception, high-pressure recruiting tactics, and brainwashing its members to serve the fundamentalist, ultra-conservative, and sexist beliefs of its founder, Saint Jose Maria Escriva. Discipline within the organization can be intense. Numeraries, the celibate members who live at Opus Dei centers, are expected to wear a cilice, a small spiked chain wrapped around the upper thigh for 2 hours each day, and to flail themselves with a small rope lash. Hence the grotesque title artwork. So, if you're on YouTube, anytime you hear the theme song music, I know a lot of people, where it's a podcast, just put it in your pocket, but I do feature artwork for every title. I draw it and color it every title. I like to create a brand new artwork, which I will be showing at the art festival here in town and selling my artwork in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, whenever I'm allowed to again. With the coronavirus, who knows. But yeah, that, and I use it as two birds, one stone, because I write my podcast info on the back, and I'll leave it in bathrooms and random places and stuff like that. It's a flyer, you know? There you go. Two birds, one stone. Numeraries' daily activities and mail are closely monitored by a director, and they must confess their sins, quote unquote, weekly to an advisor. Many are told to break off communications with their families. Sounds like Scientology, man. Sounds like a cult. A cult, not occult. Let's see. All members turn over their personal income and receive a stipend for daily expenses. Numeraries constitute about 20% of total membership. Typical day in the life of a numerary may involve meditation, which actually I'm very pro meditation. I actually want to get into it. I have an interview with Kenneth again. Check out the first interview I had with him, but the next one we have planned is meditation, and we're gonna start from the bottom and go up on just basic meditation for everyone's daily spiritual and physical needs and physical health and spiritual health. And then he said he wants to go down the rabbit hole and we can get deep down into it. So I'm up for it. I just gotta figure out a time, whenever I can get back with Kenneth. So he's gonna be a reoccurring guest. So, but yeah, their typical day is meditation, daily mass in Latin, which is a very important language. That is literally the language of the elite. Lawyers, doctors, and priests all have to learn Latin. That should tell you something right there. So if you want to learn a language, learn the language of the elites, Latin, and you'll learn a bunch of hidden etymology of words that we speak every day and don't even know what we're saying. Meetings with potential Opus Dei members and studying Spanish, the language of the group's founder, Jose Maria Escriva. Supernumeraries are married members who live and work in the outside world and also contribute financially to the group. Many are said to hold high positions in business, government, education, science, and other areas. Infiltration. Critics claim Opus Dei has specifically placed some of these people in positions of power and influence. For its part, Opus Dei itself claims it is merely a benign lay order dedicated to foster the search for holiness and carrying out the apostolate by Christians who lived in the world, whatever their state in life or position in society, quote unquote, in the words of Escriva. Opus Dei does not reveal the names of its members, giving rise to the criticism that the group is a secret society, nor do members prefer to identify themselves. It's not secret, says Opus Dei. Communications Director Bill Schmidt. It's private. Big difference. Divine Inspiration. Opus Dei was founded on October the 2nd, 1928, when Spanish priest Monsignor Jose Maria Escriva de Balaguer had a divinely inspired vision in which God made him see Opus Dei, quote unquote. According to the group's literature, Escriva established the group to encourage people to sanctify their orderly lives through their work at home, in school, and in the workplace. He wrote extensively about the organization's philosophy, notably in his book, The Way, in which he offered a collection of 999 maxims concerning spirituality, civil society, responsibility, work, and dozens of other subjects. Since its publication in 1934, it has sold more than 4.5 million copies in 44 different languages. The group flourished rapidly, spreading from Spain through Europe and then worldwide. In 1982, Pope John Paul II gave Opus Dei the status of personal prelature, quote unquote, meaning that it falls under the jurisdiction of a prelate appointed by the Pope rather than local or national bishops. The Pope has said that a scriva was chosen by the Lord to proclaim the universal call to holiness and to indicate that everyday life, its customary activities, are a path to holiness. It could be said that was the saint of the ordinary. To date, Opus Dei is the first and only personal prelature in the world and has 87,000 members in more than 80 countries. Opus Dei in the United States, my home country. There are more than 3,000 Opus Dei members in the United States, with 64 residences in 17 cities. Many of the centers are located near college and university campuses, where the group attracts new members. About 15 members live in each center. There are separate centers for men and women, each overseen by a director. Men and women are separated not only in living quarters, but also in work. Sounds a lot like Islam. Several former members have... Alright, Kitty, I hear you. There you go. There's my co-host speaking up. That's why I love him, dude. That's Horace, the kitten. Jesus H. Christ, Jesus Horace Christ. I think you get it. Yes, Horace. Alright. Come here. Let's see. Opus Dei is known to operate at least 5 high schools in the United States. Each goes by a nondescript name such as The Height, Oak Crest, or The Willows. For years, in keeping with the organization's tradition of secrecy, the $69 million national headquarters in New York City on the well-trafficked corner of Lexington Avenue and 34th Street did not have an identifying street-level sign. Now, here's where you tuned in for. This is what you tuned in for. Conspiracy Corner Podcast. Whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, BitChute, we are spreading out all over, dude. A vast conspiracy. Accusations of secrecy and control aside, the most serious allegations against Opus Dei are that it promotes a hidden fascist agenda and has supported radical right-wing governments. Why is everybody bashing on the right wings? They seem to be the only sane ones nowadays. As proof, critics point to the group's associations with the regimes of General Francisco Franco in Spain, Augusto Pinochet in Chile, and Alberto Fujimori in Peru. Conspiracy theorists claim Opus Dei members foiled a coup against Venezuela President Hugo Chavez in 2003 and led the Ecuadorian military coup of 2000. Supporters of the group admit that Pinochet's and Fujimori's administrations and supporters included members of Opus Dei, but important Opus Dei members also opposed those regimes. Similarly, there were many anti-Franco members of Opus Dei, while Opus Dei members allegedly fill the ranks of banks, media outlets, and schools in Spain, and serve as Supreme Court justices and cabinet members in the United States. These may not equate to a vast right-wing conspiracy. Well, there you go. Retract. According to prelature, Many of the misconceptions and suspicions surrounding Opus Dei were spawned by Dan Brown's 2003 best-selling novel, The Davinci Code. The book portrayed the group as an ultra-wealthy element of the Vatican that conducted sinister deeds on its behalf. The inclusion in the novel of an Opus Dei monk who specialized in murder and torture did little to enhance the group's image. Aw, poor Vatican. You poor Vatican. I feel bad for the Vatican. Come on, let's donate some money. Where's the silver tray, the offering plate? I'll give the Vatican, I'll give them the bird, probably. Yeah, that's what I do when I see the Vatican usually. I would only like to visit there, and I would be respectful when I do visit, if I ever get to, while I'm living, just for the historical purposes and just to get as close as I could to their Area 51. Everyone rated Area 51. We should have rated the Vatican. You know, there was 2 burnings of the Library of Alexandria that is locked up in those secret archives, which I have some fragments of it. I'll make an episode on it one day, you know. Somebody that got some of the secret stuff from the secret archives. Most of it's boring, I ain't gonna lie, but they only give you a small amount of time to actually research, and it's super fucking hard to get any info out. The current head of the prelature is Javier Echeverria Rodriguez, a Spanish bishop who served as Jose Maria Escriva's personal secretary before being ordered as a priest of Opus Dei in 1955. Now, if you guys want to hear more, please hit me up in the comments, because this actually could probably be a 3-part episode. If that's something you guys can handle, and if that's something you guys want. We can take the red pill and go down the rabbit hole, or we could take the black pill and go even deeper. Let me know if you want a part 2. I can promise you a part 2, and I can promise you most likely a part 3, looking at the mound of research I got over here. I hope this has been engaging, enjoyable, and I hope that you all have a blessed day, blessed be, and I hope that you guys find happiness in this channel. That's all I want at the end of the day, is happiness, joy, enjoyment, and I hope that you have a genuinely good experience with all this craziness going on in 2020. Y'all be safe, y'all be careful, and namaste.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.